also talk about who is going to win.
Let's say, you need to do the election. Yesterday, but he tell you plenty things, right? Let's talk. Let's talk. Don't mind them. No, this is not. Let's not count you down. Like, boy, come on.
No. Gentlemen, you are welcome. And you out there, you are very much welcome to a very wonderful edition of State of Play. Today's State of Play is a very important topic that has been having a lot of impact this week. For example, EIU gave an indication that it expects the NDC to revitalize its chances by actually looking for a new candidate. Now, after that, the head of research at the office of the president has been telling me that no matter what anybody tells you, their research across the country, from top to down, suggests John Dramani Mahama is the chosen, not even yet to be chosen. Even before the SDC goes for their elections, is the chosen candidate and the best candidate for the NDC. So today we are asking whether the man John Dramani Mahama is a threat to the NPP's quest to break the 8. Is he the biggest threat today to the NPP's quest to break the 8? Will the NPP, for example, be better off with a different candidate for the NDC? No matter who the NPP chooses, or will the NPP be better off, let's say, if Dr. Dufour or somebody else will make a contest? Yes, along the line, if Kojobo joins or if the old people wanted to contest, Elik Plim Agbemava,
Elik Plim did not contest the last time.
He wanted to contest. He wanted to.
He couldn't pay the filing fee. He won't contest.
Okay, well, take Elik Plim out. If all the big names, all the great people who wanted to contest previously, if you think that they were part of this election and they are better off than John Dramani Mahama, but what should be the position of government towards John Dramani Mahama today? Because the mere mention of him is becoming a big problem in the country.
I mean, and that the fact that not only the EIU is making this suggestion. I mean, and by the way, let's say something about the EIU report. It is a desk job.
Yeah.
I hear people call it a
secondary research. No.
A survey. It is not. It is predominantly sitting behind his laptop and conjecturing
and reading the mood. Basically,
You know about what might happen. I mean, look. Let's be specific. Let's read how they put it. And ask yourself whether you can write what they've written. I mean, the only difference, it is a track record they've had and the credibility of the organization, the person who was writing for it. And that is what makes it newsworthy. Okay? So, for example, if Raymond Aqua writes it, but if some unknown John Doe writes this, nobody cares. Now, so this is the way they put it. This is the way they put it. The next parliamentary and presidential elections are due in 2024. Who doesn't know that? It's a fact. Everybody knows that. You don't have to be a scientist. Under constitutionally mandated term limits, the incumbent president, Nana Akufo-Addo, cannot run for a third term. Another stating the obvious.
Yeah.
Right? So two things that you don't need to, if you are born today, you should write. Okay. Third, the former president, John Mahama, is reportedly considering running again. Again, no brainer. Everybody knows John Mahama. It's not reportedly. He is running again. So again, they are trying to, even that very obvious fact, very notorious, they are trying to, put it in there, vaguely and cast a shadow of, uncertainty around it. Cannot run. Okay, so but we expect the opposition NDC to try to revitalize its prospects with a fresh candidate. And again, me, you, and the three of us here know this is one of the false things they can ever put there. The NDC will never try to revitalize with any fresh candidate. It is a complete no.
And you would ask yourself this question.
The EIU is so wrong on that matter.
Why would anybody with a proper political sense believe that such an expectation is even realistic?
It's not there.
You see, like Owusu Mensah said, it's obvious John Mahama is the NDC's flag bearer. He will be the NDC's flag bearer. But you asked a question earlier. The greatest threat to the NPP's chance of thoughts of breaking the 8 is not John Mahama. It's the NPP itself.
Oh, I see.
It's the NPP itself.
I mean, to be fair to him, that has always been the case of incumbents.
So it's your performance. And I mean, Dr. Bamiyan, when he spoke about the economy, says, no matter what you put out there, the reality of the economy is what people feel in their pockets. So if people think that you're doing well, they would vote for you. But in Ghana, we've always talked about a second term curse. Unfortunately for this government, their second term curse started in the first year, the second term last year.
Yeah,
that's when their curse started. And so is
it a blessing or a curse?
I said curse.
It's a
curse.
So why not? Why? Because when you fix this too early enough, you can actually turn it into a blessing.
Fix what?
I am coming to fix. I think that there's an important part of the EIA report we have ignored,
which is
it is actually a factual part. It says our baseline forecast is that ongoing public dissatisfaction with the slow pace of improvement in governance, such as infrastructure development, job creation, and easing of corruption. It has outlined these three are the ones that will trigger anti-incumbency factors and push the electorate to seek a change.
My brother.
Now, conclusion. The NDC therefore stands a reasonable chance of winning the 2024 elections. I want you to focus on these three. The anti-incumbency factors, which will be infrastructure development, job creation,
stop there. Don't continue.
Yes.
Infrastructure development.
Yes.
Were you not there when the ministry told all of us that the infrastructure for poverty eradication program will be suspended and that even projects that are currently ongoing will be paid over a 2-year period?
Yes.
Yeah.
Were you not but that's not the only infrastructure.
Relax.
You heard the Vice President of the Republic do a presentation and tell you the very programs and projects
Stop that.
You saw them. Which one are you disputing today?
You saw which one?
The huge amounts you are pumped into programs and projects in this country.
Which programs?
But you want me to list all for you?
Is it 10,000 kilometers of roads?
Oh yeah, that's one of those. But
no. Is it that what you're talking about?
No. I'm talking about a lot more than that.
No.
Be fair.
The road to your house. Is in a better state.
Like now, my special has been complaining. Can you?
No. I am telling you. No. You say you have constructed road today. If you hold on.
The fact that we have constructed roads in this country.
Let me make the point.
The Asbestos road. The new road. The Sino Hydro did not construct his road. What to construct?
Hold on a second. The vice president. The vice president says the reality is what you feel. So I'm asking Evans Mensah, has his road been constructed?
No.
The reality is that East Legon, with already good roads, have asphalt overlay.
Yeah.
And the president and the government tells you that they have constructed over 1,000 kilometers of asphalt overlay. The reality is that the government does grading. It says new road. And you think people are happy?
No,
hold on. My road. That there was grading on it. And now there are gullies in it. That's construction. As I stop that, let me continue.
There are schools that have been built.
Let me continue.
There are hospitals that will be built.
Let me continue.
Let's get
no, we are being fair. We're being fair.
Our friend Obi.
Yes.
They do a show. Do you know the name of the show?
No.
Obi on Asempa. What's the name of the show?
Ecosystem.
That's what I'm saying.
So look, all the things I'm talking about.
No, I'm saying that if they go on this tangent, and I agree with the reports, these are pitfalls. If the government improves these areas, it can win the election.
And how is the government going to improve these areas? The government has already started telling you about the challenges we're faced with. The government has started telling you that we need to cut down on a lot of things. And so based on all of these challenges, you still believe that things will be all right in the next year or two. These are austerity moments. And once you're faced with that, my brother, let us face the fact. Let us not hide under anything and say, infrastructure. Look, that delivery tracker, where is it? Go Google it again.
It's under reconstruction. That's not a big deal. It's a website. Do under reconstruction.
So Raymond, here are the facts why I think you're wrong. And if you speak to NDC, you spoke to Opoku Mensah, who is the director of research at the presidency. He wasn't categorical they'll win elections. He said they might win elections based on factors.
Yeah. Which is the case here too. He said it stands a reasonable chance.
I'm coming.
They are not categorical that the NDC will win.
I'm coming to the point. Even the director of research himself, and normally what happens with government researchers when they're going to election, they tell them what they want to hear, right? But here's a guy who is telling you that there are factors that would determine whether or not they will lose it. But let's not lose focus. We are starting from the basic starting from that. This is not about John Mahama, it's about the NPP more than John Mahama. And I agree with him. But this is the point. First of all, before anything is done, second terms are always impossible, right? For incumbents. To make this even more complex and pronounced for the NPP, they are facing a crisis, a twin crisis that no government in their history has ever endured. In the Fourth Republic, at least. No government. And yet, in those other governments that didn't have COVID, that didn't have Ukraine and Russia, right? All of them still lost elections in the second term. Here's a government that is faced with these two key crises, right? and they are in their second year of the last term of the president. Do you know how long it's going to take for this economy to rebound from the shocks that we've experienced from COVID and Ukraine crisis? In the medium term, 3 years. 3 years. Minimum, medium term, 3 years. 3 years is going into 2025. That is why Professor Butchie says, whoever wins the election in 2024 will enter 2025 with a major crisis when a lot of the bonds will be due.
That's true.
Right? So you're telling me that with these two crises, this government can recover what they didn't do when COVID wasn't there. Now they can do in 2 years with COVID and Russia. Seriously tell me that that's possible.
But you see,
no. Answer the question. You are saying no.
Answer the question.
No.
It's a game of possibilities and probabilities. This is how politics is.
I agree with you.
Yes. A lot of things can change from today.
Wait. I'm saying. Wait. Possibility, probability.
Yes.
What is the probability that in the midst of the worst economic crisis this country has ever faced, coming back from a pandemic and dealing with Russia-Ukraine crisis, right? What is the probability that this government, within 2 years, can recover all the things you just mentioned within 2 years before the election? What's the probability that that's possible? When, put it in context, when other governments that didn't have that, they didn't have the crisis, look, the best case is 2008. Kufuor did brilliantly in the first term. Second term, everything was going well. Look, banks were chasing people to come and take loans.
So they lost.
They still lost the elections. Fast forward to 2022.
I'm coming back to the problem.
I'm coming back to your probability question.
Yes.
Fast forward to 2022 with two-pronged crisis, with the economy in crisis, threats of default, all that hanging over us, downgraded. Historically, we never had this downgrade before. You're saying that with all that, they can probable. What a probability that they will do that? Answer the question.
No, I'm just saying that.
What is the probability? What is the probability?
Okay, hold on a second.
It's more than just economic factors.
So it's more than just economic. So that's what I'm telling you.
But you cited the thing.
Hold on. The three you have talked about.
Yes.
You've talked about corruption.
Yeah.
You've talked about infrastructure. And what else? Job creation.
Yes, that job creation.
You know the current unemployment rate, right?
Yeah.
What is it?
19%.
What was it previously?
Which previous year are you talking about?
I'm talking
the
about
last census.
I'm talking about the last living standard survey. Tell me the living standard survey. Tell me.
I can't recall readily what the figure was.
You will not recall.
But hold on, the point I think you are making.
No, I am not missing any point. Now let me finish my points.
I think we are just acting and pretending that the election is just downright.
We have not said election. But let me make my point. You understand?
Who have won elections with dire economic situations?
Like which one? Like which one? No, it's okay. Which one?
In 2020, during the COVID, this country had a terrible economic situation. Let's not pretend we don't know.
In 2020?
Yeah, 2020. Please. The IMF has said that the economy is high risk of
But you know what the government did?
Please.
Do you know what the government did in 2020?
Crisis?
Do you know what the government did in 2020?
Yes.
What crisis? What crisis?
But don't
we had free water, free electricity, and then
those are reactions to a situation. It's a reaction to a crisis. Those are reactions.
Yes.
So if you do free water, free electricity, going to the next election.
Hold on. But today, doubts are being raised about those policies. Today, questions are being asked. When the president told all of us that they sent 17 billion on COVID, and the vice president goes to Kaswa and says 8.1 billion. In fact, you actually shared that data with me from the vice president's lecture. Then I went to look for the president's State of the Nation address.
17 billion.
17 billion. Now, in between them, we were told that COVID-19 cost us, in the 2021 budget, it cost us around 11.9 billion. We spent 12 billion. We spent about almost 13 billion as a result. So COVID-19, its impact on the Ghanaian economy was 25 billion. Compare all these three and begin to tell me where people don't start raising questions wouldn't start asking questions. Where did the money go? But most importantly, look, one of the major problems the NPP faces. Now, the reason I say it's the NPP that would lose, if NPP loses election, their greatest threat is the NPP itself. Is that you have a party that made too many promises in 2016 and came into office. Now that party today, struggling to fulfill a lot of their promises, they have not stopped. They are making new promises. The internet does not forget. The internet is making life so unbearable for the NPP today, unlike it did in the past.
Okay.
And when you are a party that has majority of your core membership in the middle class, supposedly, and you are doing things that are getting the people worried. When you are a party, look, let it be known, let me put on record that the NPP, John Mahama lost elections by almost a million votes. Mm-hmm. You and I sat in the studios when we saw John Mahama rebrand in July 2020. And what was the statement from Franklin Kujo? He never imagined that John Mahama could come back in 2020 and touch the nerves of Ghanaians this way.
Yeah.
Why was he able to do that? He was able to do that because at the time, people had become disappointed. But mind you, this is the point. I say something all the time, that when you put propaganda on people, we say that if you want your propaganda to be bought by people, it must appeal to their emotions. Yeah. The NPP was very good because we say feelings that are formed by emotions can be dislodged, cannot be dislodged by mere reasoning. The NPP was very smart in branding John Mahama as incompetent. Today, the tag incompetent Mahama, it will never work. It will never work.
And it won't work because John Mahama has suddenly changed.
Yes.
It won't work because the NPP as a government in the last how many years has scored too many own goals that will make any tag on John Mahama as incompetent not resonate.
Exactly.
Because people will be more focused on the NPP's failings as a government than on John Mahama's failings in 2016. It's paled into.
But would it be election of records comparison?
Yeah,
would they compare the records of the NDC
now you are even
and the
making
man who is actually...
You are even making a case stronger.
No.
It will be a record.
Yes.
Now,
records of the NDC under John Dramani Mahama in 2013-2016 compared to the NPP
that is where
not pre-rebasing to post-rebasing.
No, in fact, that Ghanaians. No. I submit to you.
No, not pre-rebasing to post-rebasing.
I get your point.
I actually even submit to you. Yes. I actually even submit to you that even the point that won't matter to the vast majority of the illiterate.
The realities in the pockets.
They don't care they won't care too much what John Mahama did in 2016, 2015, 14. They won't care. Listen, there's a reason why the second terms of incumbents are like that. You can't go back 9 years to go and now bring back things that people did.
Exactly.
And people don't care. What did you do in your 8 years? That's all they cared about.
My point,
that was all they care about.
My point is that almost as if you people see this as a done deal.
No. There are no
political party today.
I will never say. Wait. I'm saying no.
In fact,
on the balance of probability, yes, that's what we are talking about.
Okay.
No, but nothing is absolute.
Yeah.
Of course.
On the balance of probability today, even the president's own director of research is telling you that nothing is a done deal. The NPP is not winning. Exactly. That's what we are saying. But we are saying on the balance of probability, the pendulum swings slightly in favor of John Mahama. Now, if you look at this, let's look at momentum. Momentum is important in politics. So 2016 was Mahama's lowest point.
Yeah.
2020, he crawled back 500,000 votes.
Almost gave us a hung parliament.
First of all, it has never happened before. For one person, what Akufo-Addo did three attempts. 3 attempts, right? Never crawled back that many votes until he won elections. Mills never crawled back that, right? But also you can make an argument that John Mahama's fall was so historical that, of course, that in itself puts it in context. Yeah. However, I'm coming to momentum. He crawled back 500,000. Create a hung parliament. He was certain he will do so. In fact, he was certain he will win the parliament. Get a speaker. Momentum. It's very important. Going into the next election, all the momentum is behind the NDC and John Mahama. All the momentum. There's no momentum in MPP's corner. The sail is strongly being tilted in the NDC's corner. How does the MPP undo this momentum? There's nothing in their favor. They will almost lost parliament, and that was... Look, I'm looking for...
As the Congressman believes that they are going to get back parliament, They are going to get 145 seats.
From where?
Because they are going to right all the wrongs in the areas that they lost. They have identified them. They are working at it today as we speak.
That same man won the NPP in 2020. You saw it coming.
You've seen the polling station elections. In the NPP.
Yeah.
It doesn't look like a party that has learned its lessons.
Oh, no, but of course, I mean, that for polling station elections, virtually everywhere in the world, there are always grassroots difficulties. These difficulties are not as pronounced as they were before.
But let me just make this point. But let me just make this point.
Yes.
On November 8th, 2020, when John Mahama was addressing a campaign in Yendi, he said something. He said, he was very emphatic. This election, we will win the parliamentary elections.
Yeah.
Then his voice would drop. And he says, and we will win the presidential elections too. But the NDC was categorical on one front.
The parliamentary
We will win the parliamentary.
He never said he would win the election.
He said it without a lot of
presidential election.
But he said he was going to win the...
But even after the election, you remember when he did this, what they call it?
On Tuesday, when he spoke, he said, they believe they had majority, so they can have a speaker, so they can run things from parliament.
That's true.
So you go and say you are fighting Galamsey, and then you lose your election in many of these constituencies. You say you are engaged in financial sector cleanup. You have converted people's money into bonds. Today, those who are expecting their money in January, they did not get their money. You say we have paid everybody. Yes. You would tell me that, big bonds means it will come. They've not received their money. As of April, January, they've still not received their money. And you think that people have forgotten? You think that people who went through all of these things... So look, let me be very honest with you.
If we had these conversations, forgive me, in 2023 or 2024, early 2023, some categorical statements and leanings can be made. It is way too early.
I agree.
A lot of things can change from now.
We are analyzing.
But that is why.
It is the reason why I am worried about
our points are based on what the report says.
Yes.
And
so we are saying
as
that
we speak today. What did the director of research tell you? If the elections were held today, what happened?
Not say they will win the election, by a slim margin.
Based on what?
Not slim margin.
Based on what?
He says, no, two things have changed. He says if the work of the EIU was done after two things. One, Ghana qualifying for the World Cup. Two, no, that is an important thing. People get excited. No, people get excited.
Guys, let's get to the messages. Let's get to the messages. Let's get to the messages.
Oh, you have some messages.
I have some messages. So, Owel and Ponsa G says, guys, don't forget, we still see you as journalists. Please be guided by that fact. What was he trying to talk about?
Okay.
This one's from Ben Jesus Love, says, NPP doesn't listen. Don't waste your time.
Oh.
And Adwadudu Musa says, you guys are afraid that your station will be shut down if you discuss Sewa Bruni?
For some reason, I know people were expecting that I will come and discuss Sewa Bruni.
But I'm surprised.
This is election 2024. This is what determines the future of the country.
But you today, you are the host. Why didn't you discuss Sewa Bruni?
The ER reported to be important. Let me go to the message from Seydou Samad. For the NDC to win the 2024 election, both Mahama and Jane need to be changed. A hashtag state of play. This is Seydou Samad. It says, but there's also a conversation.
Change for who?
That's the point.
The only person I see...
True to my heart, I would go for a change in the running mate of the NDC.
Yeah, but you won't change your mama.
No, not at all. Yeah. That's croaky.
I mean, I asked for that.
I cannot envision anybody replacing John Dramani Mahama in this election and making any heroes at all. It's almost like starting afresh. It's a dangerous decision.
You know, the running mate was my vice chancellor.
Oh, yeah.
I left before she became vice chancellor.
Okay.
But she was my lecturer.
You're a favorite of hers. I understand.
No, she was my lecturer. But to be very honest with you,
political relevance, political role,
politically,
yes,
no. I mean, she doesn't do it for me. She doesn't do it for me. I could you to a black credits they are MDC's improved performance in the central region to have.
I feel it's a long shot,
but they lost in the region anyway.
Yeah,
they didn't win in the central.
I mean, but they improved. Yeah, but they improved significantly. They lost. I think they won the parliament. They won the parliamentary.
They won the parliamentary. But why did they win the parliamentary?
But it was not in 19 constituencies.
Yeah, I mean,
they won 19 constituencies, and the parliamentary. They were able to win the parliamentary because of the mining areas. Like I'm serious.
Except that although Nanado won the presidential, John Mahama clawed back a lot of the votes.
No, but that's what happens in every second term. every sitting president's election. When you're going to election as a sitting president, you would lose grounds.
They have a very terrible way of dealing with you on the next election.
Watch it carefully. Every sitting president loses grounds
almost 4%
in the next election. So that's something that you'll be faced with.
Joe Man says, let's not forget here, in the GA tribe has more influence than reality on the ground or sound policy. So tribe.
Oh, okay. He's talking about ethnicity and how it drives election.
Yeah, I mean, so you have GM from the north. You have possibly Dr. Baumia also from the north, right? So it's possible that you're going to have two northern.
And also possibly have Alan Chamanting from the Ashanti region.
On the ticket.
Now,
so that's a good point. That's Raymond, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
John Mahama, no, Dr. Baumia versus Alan Chamanting. Let's say the global analytics thing also put them together, right?
That's true.
And they said even both of them, John Mahama have an advantage. Okay, so let's talk about the two. I mean, between Alan and Baumia, which of these two stand a better chance against JM?
The Coastmaster says their survey on the ground suggests Dr. Baumia is leading slightly.
So this is among delegates.
He says what they have done is two things. Speak to people generally, populace. Then also drill down to those who have already been elected. But he gives the caveat that's not complete. It's very misleading because the delegate set is not completed yet.
Yeah.
So you can't just use half of it to make
But he was making the point that the polling stations make up 90% of the delegates. So if you pull them...
Yeah, so he gives an indication, but he still believes that...
So he says among that,
there's a slight... is an indication that, yes, the vice president is slightly ahead
of... So let's say Baumia... So his point is, I know he will disagree with you, but his point is that...
If it's a straight fight between Dr. Baumia and...
Within the party.
And Alan Chamanting.
You said Baumia will win.
Oh, no. See...
Within the party.
Within the party. If there's a lot of incumbency impact on the election, Baumia may pick through.
No, wait. There are two things. There is within the party that's in delegates.
No, that's what I'm trying to say. Within the party, because why? Let's see what's happening today. The current president, if he throws his weight fully behind what they call it, Dr. Baumia, the current president is making appointments across the country. He's asking DCs to do the right thing. He's actually asking people at the grassroots.
But the current president cannot throw his weight behind Baumia.
No,
he
does it privately. But of course, he cannot come out and say that do it. But when the meetings are held, he can actually say that all his people should go out for him.
Unless you don't see him backing Alan.
Yes, that's the point. That's out of the question. That's what I'm saying. If he throws his weight behind Dr. Baumia, it will tilt a lot of the skills in favor of Dr. Baumia.
Is Akufo-Addo still that popular within it?
Not just that. It's the resource and the ability to command the grassroots to get for you. Let's not forget, this is an internal election.
Yes, I mean...
Virtually all the people voting are either agents of the party in one way or the other, or people who are recently being elected.
Now,
I've seen some, not secret survey, I've seen some work that has been done that suggests that in the last election, the predominant population that was actually elected, the first grassroots NPP election, are Baumia's people. That indication alone, if it's pushed forward, if it's not reversed, if it's pushed forward, because you can work on people who are
the polling station from 90%, then this
but it can work on people who are previously, because why? There are people today who have been elected who are for Baumia, but who are so angry that they've not gotten anything as party members or have gotten nothing, who can change their minds along the line.
And they I mean, first of all,
we knew Kufuor supported Alan.
Yes, let me make this point.
Yes.
You see, like both of you have said, you say the president would support the vice president. Now, the director of research at the presidency said this. I'm sure if you were to ask Alan Chamanting, he would tell you that he's also in the lead. Okay, so that in itself...
But you dispute that this is based on data.
Hold on. I'm saying if you were to ask Alan Chamanting, he would tell you that he's also in the lead. So, look, what is going to happen on the day? Like you have said, the point that you make there, that elections are such that, in fact, in my constituency of Mpoho, the current member of parliament, he fielded 9 candidates in the constituency elections. They lost.
Polling station?
No, constituency elections.
But, okay.
He lost. No, that was in 2018.
Okay.
They lost. And yet he won.
Yet he won.
But this has changed, to be fair.
So as for elections, but one other thing that you should also know is this. Now, there were members of parliament. So there's a member of parliament who would tell you that, oh, I'm a Baumia person. Or I'm an Alan
just to get a position in government.
Just to get people to vote for him. Now, those who are voting for him, so you would see that, oh, this is my person. So, okay, I say I am say a Baumia person, or I say I'm an Alan person. Then you say, oh, let me vote for you. Meanwhile, you are voting for me because you like me. But personally, you probably do not support the person I support. If I am counting the members, I count you because I sponsored you. Do you understand? So, a lot of them used parliamentary candidates to do this. And so you sit down and say, oh, these are my members because my guy said he got this number of votes.
But they may have other
angles.
But there's a point to do. So what are we saying? That John Dramani Mahama, regardless of who's elected on the NPP ticket, is leading. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, he's leading.
But it's too early to conclude what the election will be 2024. That's what we're basically saying. So we can end the conversation.
I mean,
we can end it.
The NPP definitely has
a lot of work to do.
A lot of work to do.
In fact, they are fighting from. It's almost like they're one goal down.
Yeah.
Anyway, but this is no qualification for World Cup. Well, folks, thank you for joining.
It's not impossible.
It's not impossible. Yes, that's the point you also made here.
It's not impossible.
Yeah, so nobody can go to sleep yet.
Of course.
It's still anybody's game.
I'm not sure GM knows his back to the end.
Yeah.
Today, Manibama sent me a message with global analytics. Very happy.
Yeah. Oh, it's interesting. Anyway, now, but EIU global analytics going one direction. It will be interesting. This is a good week for the NDC.
Well, of course, good week. Yeah, they're happy. And the bandwagon effect.
Yes, the mindset, people will believe that it's going in that direction. Well, they say we should go, so we are going. Thank you so much for joining us on today's edition of State of Play. Join us next week.